Hi, Sheila here. Thanks for joining me. This is the morning for me after Election Day that I'm recording, thinking about feelings and thoughts that arise about things that we have very little control over and our stress response. So there are useful and appropriate stress responses that mobilize us when we need to be mobilized. And then there are times that that stress response lingers in our minds and bodies, and those are the kinds of things that we work towards kind of smoothing out so that we can have some what we call peace of mind, but also some health within our bodies so that we are not in the presence of stress hormones constantly. So I'll just remind us that this is not a process of shutting off or stopping our thoughts, but of having this relationship with them where we can turn from them towards something else for little bits of time. And that over time, that path from thoughts to the present moment becomes familiar to us, becomes a habit, it becomes more easily accessible, and therein lies the benefits of the practice. So let's practice together for about 10 minutes or so. Find a comfortable seat, one that allows you to be upright and alert and yet relaxed. So close your eyes or lower your eyes, depending on which feels comfortable, and take in a few fuller breaths, maybe letting them go with a sigh, just letting go. Breathing in and sighing out, and then just let the breath get fuller and a little bit slower. So we are regulating the breath mindfully, lengthening both inhale and exhale, slowly and evenly. And beginning to notice that there's a feel of the breath as we work with it, that it presses against the body in some way and creates sensation. So I just invite you to be aware of that and that alone. Feeling the upper chest rise and fall. Letting your belly soften so the breath can begin there. Maybe squeezing all the breath out on the next exhalation, drawing the belly button in and back, getting out some of that stale air, and then greeting the next breath. And then let go of all direction for the breath. Just let it fall to its natural pace, continuing to notice its presence, that it changes. When we aren't directing it, it probably gets a little softer, quieter, shallower. So notice that shift. And then begin to notice the position that you've chosen to sit. And making minor adjustments if that feels appropriate so that your spine can lengthen. Crown of the head might move just a little in the direction of your ceiling. And at the same time, the shoulders can relax down and maybe back a little bit. Just paying attention to the sensations that come along with sitting still. A little bit less to divert our attention. So at those times we can observe the body in more detail, or we can notice that the mind gets busy to entertain us, so to speak. And thoughts have this quality of stickiness. They just don't necessarily move off because we offer that option. So just notice that quality of your thoughts this morning. And notice also that you can direct your awareness back to some sensation in the body. Maybe beginning with your seat, that place where your bottom meets your chair or cushion or bench. There's a feeling of weight, maybe of warmth, maybe pressure. And so without looking for all the words that describe it, kind of sink into that sensation of your body sitting still at this moment. The position of your legs, the feel of your legs and feet. And then the feel of your torso, so the front and back of the body, the sides of the body, probably in some contact with your arms as they rest in your lap. Let it all be very interesting as you notice details, maybe warmth or tingling, pressure. Maybe you notice an itch arises, and just see if you can sit with that for a couple of breaths without doing anything about it. Maybe watch the itch build. Watch your thoughts about the itch. And notice what happens as you observe without doing anything. Without doing anything, a lot of things move off. It's their nature to arise and pass, and arise and pass, much like the breath. So we are witnessing the coming and the going. Sometimes they don't follow each other quickly enough. They arise and they stay for a while. So witness and observe that experience. But there are probably thoughts about that, preferences. Reclaim that state of witnessing and see what happens. And it might be that your awareness lingers on sound that is around you this morning. That sound can become a place to observe change, to observe what is happening just now around us. And any time that our mind gets pulled towards a time that is not right now, and we notice that, it's a moment of mindfulness. Without judging the thoughts, without exploring the content. You might label it as thought. And then invite your awareness into the moment, anchoring it on sensation or breath or sound. And everyone will have their own preference there. Just see what anchor is most dominant. And let your awareness rest there. And notice when awareness gets called back to the thought train. Being kind to yourself when awareness doesn't quite stay where you have suggested that it remain. But encourage it back each time it wanders, gently. Gently encourage it to return to the moment. It may be very fleeting. It may really just feel like it hardly lands before it goes back to thinking. And this is okay. This is our habit, and we are training ourselves to find that path back more easily over time. So important to embrace this process of coaxing the mind into the moment with ease, with understanding, with curiosity. Noticing changes in sensation. Maybe some sensations or thoughts arise that are uncomfortable. And if you can, just notice qualities of that. Descriptions in a felt sense, not in a list of words. What does it feel like to sit here this morning? Maybe there's impatience or fear or doubt. Maybe we recognize worry. In those moments of recognition, there's a path back to the present moment. There's an ability of the mind to simply observe what is happening just now. And as soon as we think the word now, we're on to the next moment. And then that becomes now. The next breath. The next inhale. The next exhale. The next pause. The sensation that seems to come and go or move. And then preparing to release, we'll together listen to the sound of the singing bowl. the sound has really drifted beyond your ability to hear, let your eyes open slowly. So these moments of refreshment for our nervous system, for our mind, for our sense of well-being can be found throughout the day. It's certainly nice to sit for periods of time in this way, but any time during the day that you remember to be mindful, just anchor yourself, maybe to a cup. But when you're holding the cup, let yourself notice what your hands feel like on the cup. And if there's warmth coming from the cup, the weight of it, feel of its texture. And perhaps when you start to drink what's in the cup, you pay very close attention to that process of sipping and tasting and swallowing. And in those moments, your nervous system gets a bit of a rest from all the information that we are processing these days in terms of our personal health and the health of our country and world, perhaps. So those are really beneficial moments, and they build on each other, because the more we do that, the more we are able to do that. And the more we engage in thinking that stresses us, the more likely we are to continue with that. So I hope these breaks are helpful, and I hope the skills are building for you so that you can use them on your own. So stay well, and I will see you probably next week. Bye for now.